Subconscious primacy mode. When memory fails but understanding grows. This is a neurodivergent cognitive style. If you don't know what that is, just ask your nearest GPT. So here's how the graph goes. Input book, normally, typically, book, paragraph, page, neurotypical route, short-term memory, long-term memory, recall. However, if you have a specific neurodivergence cognitive style, your subconscious primacy route is actually glances off conceptual schema, pattern memory, procedural engine, and then I understand it, but I can't recall reading it. It's the difference between understanding and just rote memorization. You can understand something when you see it, but have a difficult time explaining exactly why, like just from rote memory, which is why a lot of stupid people pass school because they just memorize everything instead of actually understanding what it is they memorized. Cognitive style. Subconscious primacy in psychology. In psychology, subconscious primacy refers to the idea that our subconscious mind influences our behavior and decision-making processes, often before we are aware of it. This concept is related to the idea of priming, where our subconscious is influenced by external cues such as words, images, or environments that shape our thoughts and actions. Implicit memory, information stored in our subconscious that can affect our behavior without us ever being aware of it. Priming, in the process by which external cues influence our thoughts and actions. Subliminal perception, perceiving information that is below our conscious threshold, often without realizing it. Research has shown that subliminal messages can influence our behavior and decision-making processes. Advertisers use subliminal messaging to promote products and influence consumer behavior. Therapists use techniques like hypnosis to access and change subconscious thoughts and behavior. Subconscious primacy mode, understanding beyond memory. Imagine you've just finished reading a fascinating article. Moments later, someone asks you to summarize it. To your dismay, you realize you've forgotten almost every specific detail. Yet, curiously, when the topic arises again later in conversation, you find yourself articulating complex insights effortlessly. This puzzling experience characterizes a cognitive pattern known as subconscious primacy mode. Now, what is subconscious primacy mode? Subconscious primacy mode describes a style of cognition where understanding takes precedence over explicit memory recall. Individuals experiencing this mode process information deeply but subconsciously. Rather than encoding details into accessible conscious memory, their brains integrate information into holistic patterns, conceptual frameworks, or intuitive knowledge. How it feels. Experiencing this mode can initially feel frustrating, especially in contexts where explicit recall as value are required, like everyone in society. Students and professionals alike may struggle with exams, meetings, or presentations, fearing they haven't retained crucial facts or figures. However, beneath the frustration lies a profound realization. Understanding has not vanished, it has merely shifted location, stored not in memory banks but in subconscious integration points. This phenomenon often presents as intuitive leaps in conversation, surprising oneself and others with unexpected clarity and insight. The mind feels as if it is operating autonomously, drawing from unseen resources that surface precisely when needed. Cognitive mechanisms. Human cognition typically involves two pathways. Declarative pathway, the conscious effortful recall of facts, names, and explicit details. Procedural pathway, the subconscious integration of patterns, concepts, and processes, enabling intuitive and automatic responses. Subconscious primacy mode heavily favors the procedural pathway. Information skips the declarative encoding step, directly embedding into conceptual schemas and patterns. This procedural dominance means individuals are highly skilled at systems thinking, creative problem solving, and intuitive decision making, but may struggle with rote memorization and explicit recall tasks. Why does this happen? Several factors contribute to this cognition style. Conditions like ADHD, autism, and dyslexia often prioritize associative, holistic, and intuitive forms of processing. Hyperfocus and flow states. Immersive experiences or states of intense concentration direct cognitive resources toward deep integration rather than superficial retention. Cognitive efficiency. The brain naturally optimizes processing to reduce cognitive load, favoring the integration of patterns over storing vast amounts of details explicitly. Strengths and challenges. Understanding subconscious primacy mode reframes the associated cognitive traits as strengths rather than deficits. Exceptional intuitive problem solving, ability to understand complex systems holistically, highly creative and associative thinking, strong pattern recognition, and innovative insights. Challenges, difficulty in tasks requiring explicit recall, such as exams or detailed presentations. Misunderstanding by peers or educators who equate memory with intelligence. Potential anxiety or frustration in traditional learning environments. Recognizing and embracing subconscious primacy mode allows individuals to leverage its strengths fully. Here are several practical strategies. Visual tools, mind maps, diagrams, or visual notes help externalize subconscious schemas, providing tangible reference points. Discussion and teaching. Explaining or teaching concepts to others can reinforce conscious recall and reveal the deep understanding hidden beneath surface forgetfulness. This is a recent adaptation in society where teachers are saying if you want to learn something, try teaching it. Rhythmic and auditory learning. Engaging multiple senses through repetition or audio recordings embeds information more deeply into procedural memory. Reflective writing. Journaling or writing essays about learned material allows subconscious knowledge to surface into explicit awareness, strengthening declarative recall pathways. Embracing a different intelligence. Subconscious primacy mode is not a flaw, but a unique cognitive architecture optimized for deep understanding and intuitive wisdom. In a society often fixated on explicit memory as the hallmark of intelligence, recognizing this mode shifts our perception. Individuals with this cognitive style are not failing to remember, they are excelling at integration. In understanding and appreciating this cognitive mode, we empower ourselves and others to harness its full potential. Memory might sometimes fail, but genuine understanding, once deeply rooted, endures and grows, informing every aspect of thought, creativity, and decision-making. If you'd like to learn more, check out my publish. If you'd like to support me, feel free to subscribe.